Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am bringing you a review and demo on the new L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover 24-Hour Foundation. And this is what it looks like. This is a newer product from L'Oreal, and I definitely wanted to give this a try so I could do a full review for you guys. So if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. And also, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well. So if you would like to know what I think about this foundation, and also if you would like to see a demo of this as well, then just keep on watching. So this is the new L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover 24-hour foundation. It's a full coverage weightless feel foundation, and this is what the product looks like. I'm in the shade 305. So I saw this foundation at Walmart, but it didn't have the 305 shade. But I actually got this off of Amazon, and I paid, I believe, $10.99 for it. But this product, I have seen it at Ulta and of course Walmart, and I've heard you can get it at Bed Bath & Beyond as well. I am pretty limited on where I can buy certain stuff. I do live pretty far away from anything really, but I did order mine off of Amazon. So if you're unable to find yours through Ulta or Bed Bath & Beyond or even Walmart, definitely order yours through Amazon because that's where I got mine. You do get 1 fluid ounce, which is pretty standard for foundations. So in the back, it has a little more information about the foundation. So it says, weightless full coverage. The finish is natural. It wears up to 24 hours. The coverage is high. The texture is air light. So it says Pro Face and Body Foundation Ultra Lightweight Seamless Coverage. And you can use this everywhere. Face, neck, arms, legs to cover imperfections and even skin tone. So when you first look at this foundation, you would think that the shade of the foundation is what's the actual shade of the product, but no. The packaging of this foundation, if you look really closely down here, the sticker ends about right here, so you have like a little sliver where you can actually see the shade of the foundation. So if you are going to pick this up, don't think that the color of the foundation is what's on the bottle. It's like you can barely even see the shade of the bottle. So I went ahead and picked up 305 because I do have the L'Oreal Pro Matte in 305, or 105 I should say. This was the first foundation that L'Oreal came out with in the Infallible line. So this is a Pro Matte, and I do also have the Infallible Pro Glow, and I also do have it in the shade 205. So on these foundations, the packaging is see-through, so you can definitely see through the packaging to pick your foundation, not like on this one where you can't see. You can just see this little sliver of the shade. Just be careful when you're picking out your foundation shade. Just make sure you check the bottom if they don't have any testers or anything like that. So the texture on these two, the Pro Matte and the Pro Glow, are more liquidy, whereas the Total Cover is more like a mousse texture. As you can see here, I'm squishing the bottle and it's just coming out really thick. Oops. But yeah, it doesn't move, or it's not going to go anywhere. I wasn't really worried about the consistency of it. I don't really pick certain foundations because they're liquidy or more thicker, or like this one is obviously really thick. Foundation, the texture reminds me of the Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation. 305 in the Total Cover was the one that was more yellow compared to the other shades they have. The other ones were more like pinky shades and more obviously darker shades. But 305 was definitely more warm side, so that's the reason why I picked up 305, which of course I'm in the 05 on the Pro Matte and the Pro Glow, so I figured in the Total Cover that would be my shade as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert a demo on this foundation so you guys can see how it looks on the skin. In my demo, you can see that I do apply the Laura Mercier foundation primer, and I do always apply primer before I apply foundation. You definitely want to use a primer so your foundation has something to adhere to. So I did go ahead and use the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover in the 305, and I did apply foundation to half of the face so you guys can see how it applies and how it looks after it's been applied to the face. I have used this foundation with a beauty blender and also a sponge. I do like the foundation more with a sponge. I honestly feel like it has a natural finish to the skin, with the coverage, the extra coverage to cover any imperfections. So I like using the Beauty Blender more than using a brush. With the brush, you do get a little more coverage if that's what you want, but I do like how it looks a little more natural with the Beauty Blender. And I do want to also mention that once you apply it, if you're going to use a Beauty Blender, just make sure, or even a brush, just make sure it's like all around the Beauty Blender and all around the top of the brush. You saw how thick it was, so if you just dab it onto your Beauty Blender, you're going to get like spots, and it's kind of hard to really make sure you're blending it all out. Like I did notice the first time that I wore it that I had like spots because it dries. This foundation does dry a little faster than other foundations, so you definitely want to work in sections and also kind of cover your Beauty Blender or whatever brush you're going to be using, like a big surface, so you don't have spots of foundation that has dried around the face. So my skin is normal to combination, so I do have normal skin, and on my T-zone it's combo. So I changed my skincare routine about a couple months ago, and usually in the wintertime I do get dry around the mouth area, but since I changed my skincare routine and the products I've been using, I don't have any dry patches around the face, which is good, and I should be knocking on wood that I don't get them. But I have heard people that have dry skin or dry patches that this foundation does cling to dry patches, so if you have dry patches, make sure you extra moisturize, or just know that this foundation will cling on to dry patches. I don't have any problem with this foundation. I actually really like the finish of it. I definitely agree with a natural finish. It's like a natural matte finish. And I did try this foundation out for a week straight. I wore it to work. So this foundation lasts about 4 to 5 hours without even having to blot my face. I do work from 8:30 to 5:30, and by the end of my shift I do notice that I have a lot of oil on my forehead and my nose area, which is pretty normal because that's how it is with all of my foundations. Overall, I really like this foundation. This one is actually my favorite from the three. The Pro Matte, I feel like it's like too matte for me. I think the Pro Glow is like my number 2 pick from the three, but overall I feel like the Total Cover is my number 1 from the three. I do agree with them. They do have a natural matte finish. The 24-hour, I can't say that it does last 24 hours. Like, of course, if you're rubbing your face and stuff like that, it's gonna come off. And also the coverage is high. I do believe you can build up this foundation. I do think that it is definitely medium to high coverage. You can definitely build it up. And this texture says Air Light. This foundation is really comfortable on the skin, and I definitely agree that this foundation is air light. You can't feel it. I do definitely recommend you guys setting it because it does feel a little tacky after you apply it. And if you want your bronzer and highlighter and blush to get on your skin smoothly, I definitely recommend you guys using a setting powder over this foundation. So overall, I give this foundation a thumbs up. I really do like this foundation, and my number 1 pick from the other 2 foundations they have in the Infallible line. Definitely give this one a try if you're looking for something that's in between from the matte and the Pro Glow. So yeah, that is what I think about it. Let me know in the comments section down below if you've tried this foundation and if you like it as well. And also let me know if you're willing to give it a try. So if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any of my videos. I hope you enjoyed this review and demo on the Infallible Total Cover Foundation. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!